Hello students, let us see about operational amplifier, that is op-amp. Op-amp. Op-amp and its basics. So this is an op-amp IC symbol. Operational amplifier. Op-amp stands for operational amplifier. Why it is called? Here we are having operational and amplifier. So with the help of op-amp, we can amplify the weak signal, and with the help of op-amp, we can do some operations like arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and integration, differentiation. We'll do some operations also. So with the help of op-amp, by adding some other components, so we can implement n number of applications. We can do a magic also. So this is an amplifier. This is op-amp symbol. So if you observe here, in the op-amp we are having two inputs. This is called as non-inverting input. This is called as inverting input. And positive power supply voltage and negative voltage supply. And output is taken from this point. So for the op-amp, we need to apply, it is having two input terminals. So this is your op-amp. It is having some, here it is 4 pins, and on that side we are having 4 pins, totally 8 pins. This is a 741 op-amp, 741 IC. The IC symbol is 741. So this is your non-inverting and this is your inverting. So at a minimum, op-amp have 3 terminals. Those are all 2 input terminals and 1 output terminal. An op-amp also requires a DC power to operate. Often the op-amp requires both positive and negative voltage supply. So this is your positive and negative. So this is an operation. So here it is taking a weak input signal and it is giving amplified current. So if you observe, so this is a process. So this is a process. Here to this op-amp we are applying a small current, and here in the output section we are getting amplified output current we are getting. But if you compare the shape of the signal, the shape remains constant. That is very important point. In the op-amp, it only increases magnitude, not, it means that it alters only magnitude, not its shape. By doing some mathematical operations, it does this amplification. Basic block diagram. Let us see the basic block diagram. What inside this op-amp is having, like here I have shown op-amp. So what this IC inside it contains, what are all the blocks it contains? So these are all the blocks it is having. One is input stage, intermediate stage, level shifting stage, output stage. Input stage and intermediate stages are differential amplifiers. So this input stage is a differential amplifier which takes 2 inputs and gives an output. The output of input stage is applied to your intermediate stage, and the output of intermediate stage is applied to your level shifting stage, so which shifts your DC level to 0. An op-amp can be conveniently divided into four main blocks: input stage, intermediate stage, level shifting stage, output stage. So what is the input stage? The input stage is a dual input and balanced output differential amplifier. The two inputs are inverting and non-inverting input terminal. This stage provides, this input stage is a dual input and balanced output stage, and this is a dual input but unbalanced output stage, this intermediate stage. So this input stage provides most of the voltage gain of the op-amp and decides input resistance value for RA. Next one is intermediate stage. So this is usually another differential amplifier. It is driven by output of the input stage. It is a dual input and unbalanced output differential amplifier. And the next one is level shifting stage. So here into the level shifting stage, directly we will connect the output of the coupling between the first stage and due to the direct coupling between the first two stages. It means that whatever the output generated from the first stage and second stage, it is directly coupled to your level shifting stage. Because of this direct coupling, some non-zero DC level is amplified, like by this level shifting stage receives an amplified signal with some non-zero DC level. That non-zero DC level is bring back to zero level by using this level shifting stage. The output stage. So this is normally a complementary output stage. So what it does, it increases magnitude of the voltage and raises current supplying capability of op-amp. It also provides low resistance also. Output stage. Op-amp pin identification. So this is the op-amp. This is dot marked package and this is notched package. So both are also having same 8 pins. Both are having 8 pins. First, second, third, fourth, and this is your fifth pin, sixth pin, seventh pin, and eighth pin. So this second and third is, the second pin is inverting input pin. This is non-inverting input pin. First and fifth are your, these two pins are used to set your offset voltage. And sixth pin is, by using the sixth pin we will get output, and to the seventh, with the help of seventh pin plus VCC applied, the help of fourth pin minus VW, that is of negative voltage is applied. This is no connection pin. Op-amp pin identification. First pin is offset null pin, fifth pin is offset null pin, and second is inverting, third is non-inverting, fourth is minus VW, and seventh is plus VCC, and eighth is no connection. So what are these pins? So pin 1 and 5 offset null input are used to remove the offset voltage. So you will get what is offset voltage. Offset voltage is nothing but, so in the absence of input signal, in the absence of input, so for the op-amp you will get a small amount of output voltage. That small amount of output voltage is made to null by using this pin 1 and 5. And for the pin 2, the inverting input, that is minus Vin signals at this pin will be inverted at the output pin 6. It means that whatever the input which is applied to the pin 2, so that input is complemented, and that appears in the complement form at the output pin 6. And non-inverting, so whatever the signal which is applied to the pin 3 will be processed without any inversion. and pin 4 is negative power supply, pin 6 is output of the op amp, and pin 7 is positive power supply, and pin 8 is no connection. It is just there to make a standard 8 pin op amp. So what is an op amp? Op amp is a active circuit element designed to perform mathematical operations of like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, differentiation and integration. These are all some applications. So here we will know gain. Gain is nothing but it is the amount of amplification produced by an op amp. So with the help of that gain factor, we'll come to know that so how the output and input are related. Open loop mode. So function of an op amp when a feedback resistor RF is 0, then it is called as open loop. It is nothing but, if you just see here, so this is your op amp symbol. Here we are having one input and here we are having one more input. For example, this is your positive and this is your negative. Actually, there is some resistor also. This is called as RF. This is called as feedback resistor RF. So from this we'll take V out. From this point we'll take V out. This is your V1, V2. So for the op amp, so here we will apply some positive, here we will apply some negative. So for the op amp, V out is equal to V1 minus V2. That is positive. This is your positive. This is your V1 is positive and this is negative. V1 minus V2 into some A. That this is your gain factor. If this RS is 0, if this RS is 0, then it is said to be in open loop mode. If RS is present, then it is said to be in closed loop mode. Comparator. So what this compares minus V plus V input, see which is greater and returns the result. Bandwidth. So the range of frequency at which op amp will operate is called as a bandwidth. Ideally for the op amp the bandwidth is infinite. Input offset voltage. So to the pin in the pin diagram we have used pin 1 and 5 for input offset voltage to make the null of input offset voltage. It means that even when there is no input voltage, the op amp gives off a small offset voltage, small voltage. This can be cancelled out by using this offset null pin of the chip. By using pin 1 and 5, we can make that small amount of output voltage to 0. And we'll come to know the common mode rejection ratio. So what the CMRR indicate, these are all some words which are related to op amp. So the ability of an op amp to reject a signal applied to both inputs and simultaneously. And the slew rate, the amount of time it takes for the op amp to step to another voltage level. Typical op amp parameters. So this is your open loop gain indicated with capital A. The open loop gain is 10 power minus 5 to 10 power 8, 10 power 5 to 10 power 8. Ideal values are infinite. The major advantage of op amp is it is having high gain. And input resistance is 10 power 5 to 10 power 13 and output resistance is 10 to 100 ohms. Its input resistance is greater as compared to your output resistance. and supply we require the plus VCC is 5 to 30 volts and voltage is, that is a minus VCC is minus 30 to 0 volts. So here op amp, the IC number is 741, its supply voltage is, it's a rate, these are all the ratings which are specific to the 741 op amp. Supply voltage is plus or minus 18 volts, power dissipation is 500 milliwatts, differential input voltage is plus or minus 30 volts, and the input voltage is plus or minus 15 volts. Its operating temperature is 0 to 70 degrees. So already we have seen this pin diagram. These are some characteristics for specific to the 741 op amp. So this op amp is an integrated circuit. So let us know some basics of integrated circuit. A integrated circuit is nothing but it is a IC. It is known as IC. So on which the n number of transistors are mounted. That millions, billions of transistors. So the ICs are broadly categorized into two classes: digital ICs, linear ICs. So a linear ICs are equivalent of discrete transistor circuits such as amplifier and filter. So linear ICs are nothing but, so if you know, like let us consider a BJT. We have seen bipolar junction transistor. So with the help of BJT, if you design any circuit for amplification, that may be a CE amplifier or CC amplifier. So that is called, comes under linear ICs. A linear ICs are known as a analog ICs. Of all the available linear ICs are almost all are operational amplifiers. We can classify the integrated circuit into two classes based on the technology used for their manufacturing: monolithic ICs and hybrid technology. Monolithic technology and hybrid technology. So this is your IC. Inside an IC, it contains n number of millions of transistors. Millions of transistors it contains. So this is one type of IC. Real time, these are all the ICs. So this is your IC. So further classification of IC technology is shown below. So these are all the pins. To these pins we have to give the input sign. We have to take the output from that pin. So integrated circuits broadly classified into hybrid technology, monolithic technology. In the monolithic technology includes bipolar, unipolar. The unipolar comes under JFET, MOSFET, and in bipolar, PN junction and dielectric isolation. The different shapes of ICs. Monolithic ICs. In this type of ICs, all the circuit components and their interconnections are manufactured into or on top of a single chip. That's why it is called as monolithic IC. So components and their connections are manufactured on a single chip, that is called as a monolithic. This technology is ideally suitable when identical circuits are required in a very large number. So the monolithic circuits are further classified into two categories, namely bipolar and unipolar. The advantages of monolithic technologies are low per unit cost and very high reliability. In mobile phones, we use these monolithic ICs. The hybrid circuits are completely different from monolithic ones. In hybrid circuits, separate component parts are first attached to the ceramic substrate. Then these parts are interconnected by the means of either metallization pattern or wire bonds to form the circuit. First, the components are placed in the hybrid ICs. So according to our requirement, we will do some connections. Classification based on active devices. Depending upon the type of active device being used, the ICs can be classified as bipolar ICs, that is bipolar junction transistor, unipolar ICs, that is field effect transistor, JFET. Let us see some applications of op amp. there are many applications of op amp, like a voltage adder, summing amplifier is called as summing amplifier, difference amplifier, integrator, differentiator, some voltage follower. So let us see, this is your voltage adder. So here this is your input V1 and this is your input V2. So by applying some KVL, you will get V1 by R1 plus V2 by R2 equal to minus V out by RF. So at this point, so we have a virtual ground concept in the op amps. So here it is 0. So this point is also at 0. 0 voltage. At this point you will get 0 voltage. So V out is equal to minus RF by RF into V1 by R1 plus V2 by R2. Here the total voltage is equal to the summation of individual voltages. If I have here I have two voltages V1, V2, that's why it is V1 by R1, V2 by R2. If I have n number, then V1 by R1, V2 by R2, that has to Vn by Rn. Vn by Rn. So this is used for noise cancellation. Application is noise cancellation. We'll go for this one, voltage adder. Next, difference amplifier. So by applying some KVL, by doing some calculations, you will get this. V out is equal to RF by R1 into V2 minus V1. If R1 equal to R2, RF equal to RG. Then by using this equation in this V out, you will get minus, that is of RF by R1 into V2 minus V1. This is a difference amplifier. This is your integrator. So basically here, so in the difference amplifier, what we got? The difference amplifier we got V out is equal to RF by R1, RF by R1 into V, that is plus voltage minus V minus voltage. For example, this is a generalized equation, V naught is equal to. So here this plus voltage is 0. So this is 0. Then what you will get here? V out is equal to, for integrator, V naught is equal to RF by R1 into minus V in. So simply we can say that V naught is equal to minus RF by R1 into V. So this is the equation for your integrator. So this is for your integrator. So the integrator, it integrates and amplifies the input signal V in. Next, this is your differentiator. Here you are having a capacitor R1 which is applied to your, this is the inverting terminal and this is your R2. And this is your voltage follower. So if you see this voltage follower, so generally what we have, V out is equal to, here the feedback is unity, here there is no any feedback. So V plus minus V minus, generally it is. there is no any resistance. So before that we are having some resistance here. That's why here we are having some resistance. That's why we have written that V out is equal to minus Rf by R1, Rf by R1 into V plus minus V minus. But here we don't have any. The resistance values are unity. So V out is equal to, here the input is, that is a non-inverting input is directly connected to your V out. So just remove this one, then what you will get? V plus. So V plus is equal to directly V in. So the voltage follower is nothing but in which the output voltage always follows your input voltage. So whatever the input voltage will apply, that appears across your output voltage. It is like a buffer. So it is a non-inverting amplifier with gain is 1. Thank you.